never done a thriller really before. I think that's been one genre that I've never attempted, and I've never played a professor, let alone a Hindi professor.
I could not have asked for a better co-actor to start my first project with. She has been such a delight to work with. She has taken care of me. She has spoiled me.
I was very excited that I get to have somebody under me. So I was ready to bully her and trouble her and, pass on the good karma, as they say. We are often exposed to incidences which break your heart and, shatter, your mind.
It's simply the crime. It's rape. There's nobody else to be blamed for that.
Hi guys, this is Huma Qureshi.
Hi, this is Avantika Dassani and you're watching me on ETimes.
Hi, this is Mithya, and with me today I have the two gorgeous ladies, Huma Qureshi and Avantika Dassani, welcoming both of them on ETimes.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
So first of all, to begin with Mithya, this is the psychological thriller and Huma Qureshi is playing a very different role. It's a grey shade, I must say that. Huma, how difficult was it to play this role for you? Because it dwells into a lot of characters.
Well, each role that one attempts as an actor is difficult. Yes, it's a new space for me because I've never done a thriller really before. I think that's been one genre that I've never attempted, and I've never played a professor, let alone a Hindi professor. So that was a bit of a challenge, I must admit. But I knew I was in the able hands of a wonderful director like Rohan Sippy. I mean, I had amazing producers and Goldie Bell, and all the support that I needed from my amazing castmates and co-stars. So I think I did okay. But no, I had fun doing this. I had lots of fun doing this. And,
you were fab.
Oh, love you. Thank you. And so were you. You were fab too.
Fab.
I think we all.
And that's your debut actually. So I would of course come to her. Avantika, talking about you, it's your debut. It's your debut to the OTT world. How was your experience of working with Huma and, of course,
not just OTT, this is the first thing ever.
Yes, I was just about to say that. This is my debut into the industry. This is my debut into films and shows and all of this. I had an absolute blast. I honestly could not have asked for a better team to start off my first project with. And I've said this and I will keep saying it, that I could not have asked for a better co-actor to start my first project with. She has been such a delight to work with. She has taken care of me. She has spoiled me, very, very encouraging, very supportive of the fact that I'm a newcomer. I'm going to be making mistakes. There's a lot that I'm going to be learning on the go. To be able to sort of deal with all of that with patience and still encourage someone to be able to perform well. They've really balanced that act and just been such a great team for me to start off my first project with.
You attracted all of us to you. Manifested us.
I did.
It's all you. You manifested this energy.
You have been such a welcoming, co-actress in terms of the way you have welcomed her. Was it this scenario for you when you made your Bollywood debut?
Oh, absolutely.
Were you welcomed with so much of love and, joy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For me to be a kid from Delhi with not knowing a single person when I arrived over here, for this industry to love me and to give me work and to accept me and to give me the space to learn and grow and watch, I think I've had a very, very welcoming, journey so far as a person, as an actor. My first film, Gangs of Wasseypur, it was just such a warm bunch of people. Even now, when I meet any technician or AD who are now all directors, slowly, or any of my co-stars, there's just so much love and warmth because we've really had that journey together. So I've always had people, watch out for me and help me be a better actor and, all of that. So I felt and I've always, normally been the least senior person or whatever. So for this one, I was very excited that I get to have somebody under me. So I was ready to bully her and trouble her and, pass on the good karma, as they say.
So, Avantika, as you made your debut in Bollywood, and, how supportive was your family? Because Bhagyashi has been a part of the industry and even Abhimanyu has been working in films which have, been there on international platforms as well. So how supportive, and what words of encouragement did you get from them?
Yeah, they've been very encouraging and very supportive. As any family would be, they're also very protective about me, knowing very well that I'm a very emotional and a very sensitive person. I think that's just their sort of skepticism being a part of this industry and being a part of this world, as any protective family would be. But apart from that, they see how passionate I am and how much I enjoy doing this, and how hard I work at this, and that I think is enough for them as an answer, you know. And so even their words of advice to me have always been simply this: that make sure you do things that you enjoy doing, because it will reflect in your work. And this work deserves a lot of hard work, and it deserves a lot of respect. So make sure everything that you do it with that kind of love, and you do it with that kind of passion. And that's just sort of the ethos we all try to follow, being a part of this world.
Huma, talking about your journey, I must appreciate that, you are actually exploring a lot down south and the kind of projects you have been a part of. Tell us something about it, because, it's not that easy also to, work in south projects. At the same time, those projects are quite different, which you have worked on. Tell me something about that. I was very curious and quite excited to ask you
I've had
this.
a lot of fun working in the south, and I've got a lot of love and some great projects that I worked in the south. So I can't really complain. I know what you mean when you say it's difficult. Of course, it's difficult because I don't speak the language and I'm not from there, and But I've had the good fortune of working with amazing directors, amazing producers, amazing co-stars, who've made the whole experience so easy and wonderful for me. My latest Valimai is up for release soon as we know exactly. We had to push the release due to COVID, but I'm sure like very soon we'll have a new date that will be announced, and I mean it's quite lovely how even the fans and the audience over there has accepted me. Given me so much love. So I hope to do one film in the south every year, whether it's Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, doesn't matter. I feel like there's so much rich content and amazing directors and amazing stories that are coming out from that region, and I want to be part of great storytelling and work with different people. And so I definitely will do one project every year from the south.
And as we hear that your film Valimai is going to release in theaters on 24th of February, and you're working with Ajith. So how was your experience of working with him? Because he's very popular down south, and his projects have been quite different. How was your experience of working with him?
Ajith sir is one of the best co-stars I've worked with. just for who he is, and just kind of craze he has. He's just the most warm, most grounded human being I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, this film has been difficult because due to COVID, it's taken almost 2 years to make. So there've been a lot of delays, there've been a lot of things. And when you make a film of this size, it obviously gets very complicated. But I think, because he was sort of, keeping us all together and keeping the spirits up, he's really sort of led from the front and made sure that this film is looking the way it's looking, his commitment towards doing all the action sequences and all of that, and to be to keep everyone's morale high, especially in those difficult times. I mean, he's really exemplary. He's really a leader, in that sense, and so unassuming and so reserved and so like, he quietly does his thing. I mean, I always say this, like who you are as a person, that energy radiates in the world. And, I think that's the reason why he's so loved by fans all over the world. And I am very fortunate I got a chance to work with him and be, share screen space with him. I just can't wait to share this labor of love that Valimai is, and people to watch it. And I know the excitement levels are very high. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Avantika, talking about you, after this project, what are you going to work on? And what kind of projects excite you? When you, made your venture to Bollywood, what was your intention on what kind of projects to work on?
So I'm in the middle of shooting a Telugu film as well. It's called Ring. Wow. We're still in the middle of shooting because of the pandemic. Again, things have been pushed. But I'm looking forward to all sorts of work as an actor. I think the idea of not being sort of pushed into one niche and having the versatility is something I'm really excited about. And now with, the growth of OTT and the growth of all the cross-industry work that's happening. It's so exciting. I think it's the best time for anyone to be a part of this industry. Whether you're a writer, director, an actor, anybody, I think we're in such a flourishing space. And I'm looking forward to being able to explore different roles, different characters, different regions, and just grow. It's just the start for me. So what I've also learned through the pandemic is having too many plans is not a good idea. And you should just be prepared for whatever life throws at you.
Huma, talking about you, you have been one actress who, not only chooses to be upfront, but you also speak for the rights of other actresses. If someone is, getting trolled, sometimes, you take a stand and, you come in support of them. You don't fear what you have to write. But, sometimes there's a downside where you also get trolled, for, raising your voice or, saying something. What do you have to say about that?
I can take care of myself. I don't need anyone to come rescue me or to babysit me. I think.
But does that affect you or bother you ever?
Just to answer to what you said, I mean, for me, like, I've been an independent working girl almost for like 9-10 years now. I pay my own bills, I pay my own taxes, I run my own life, I make my own decisions. And I stand up for what I think is right and wrong. And with other women especially, like, I don't know if Avantika remembers, I said that to her once, like, I would never compete with another girl. Guys, yeah, any day, but not another woman, because I really understand and empathize what all of us have to go through every single day when we step out of our homes and we go out to work and we put on a brave face and we have to face so much, being a woman and shatter the glass ceiling. So for me, like, whenever I see somebody get trolled or whatever, I just feel really wrong, because I feel like as a society, it's quite disgraceful to do this kind of public humiliation of a woman. Like, how is it any different from like stoning somebody or like, eve teasing somebody or whatever? You're doing that is just done digitally. And I feel like it's high time that we have certain kind of rules, etiquettes, code of conduct to talking about these things in public. You cannot do that. Just because something is not happening in real time and it's happening digitally doesn't make it right. And there's a certain way we have to talk to women, and address them. I know things have changed and they've changed for the better in a lot of ways. But I remember being asked, really like uncomfortable questions, the woman, even by certain members of the media. And I'm like, just because you have the power to say something or to post something doesn't mean you use that to put a woman down, or, and I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all.
And don't you somewhere also feel, as you said about media, somewhere do you also feel that, there is this pressure on actresses a lot more than an actor? Sometimes they get away with certain things, but, when it comes to actresses, they go through a lot. They get targeted for certain things, even they dress up the way, or, if something happens, there are blooper moments and, that gets captured and gets attention a lot. And it's not only the media, even the public, even in the public eye, they talk a lot about it. Oh, this actress did this, or, what is this, kind of a behavior. Oh, hamare Indian Sanskriti mein aisa nahi hota. These kind of perceptions do take place. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are the same, whether it's the film industry or society, like you rightly said, or it's the world at large. There are different standards to which you hold men and women. There are things a guy can get away with and a woman would be labeled, certain tags, which is not cool, and which is what the whole conversation is about. The conversation is about equality. The conversation is about equal opportunity. The conversation is about not being held to a stereotype. And these are some very, very important things that we must talk about and address and bring into our day-to-day conversations. Why is it that we are comfortable sending a boy out at night, but for a girl, we're like, you can't go out after dark? And I remember, like, while growing up, I used to constantly have this conversation with my parents, because I was like, and my parents were like, bahar, it's very dangerous and it's not safe for women. There are guys who will, whatever, trouble you and whatever, don't go after dark. And I'm like, but then keep those guys at home. Why should my independence be restricted because some guy is choosing to break the law or break a moral code of decency? So I feel in that sense, I mean, and I will always be a very huge proponent of this, that we have to, talk about these things and we have to stop. And all of us in our own spheres, I can do it as an actor and choose to do it in the films that I choose to do. You as a media person can choose not to write about certain things a certain way. And I think that responsibility all of us have to take collectively. we can't say just because ये होता है तो ये correct है, तो चलने दो. ऐसे तो कभी social injustice will never get okay, right? Like that's, so all of us have to take our individual responsibility.
No, and just to add to this, this is not something that I know that she's just saying or that it's a social media thing. Me as a newcomer, as someone who's, just entering this space, Huma made a lot of effort to make me feel comfortable, to help and support and encourage me, and this was something that, much later on, we had some of our producers joking about that they were worried about having two women on set and, whether it's going to have any levels of insecurity or any
perception, like, women come together.
Yeah. So the idea that two women actors, are
such a stereotype. You know what I mean? Avantika,
you wouldn't say that about women.
Guys fight as much as women do. It's just a question of people not getting along. But it's always like, oh, two actresses can never get along. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. I have a lot of female colleagues that I mean, and I'm very close to a lot of my friends who are also actresses, and I get along. And I feel like we as women should stop saying these kind of lies, because the more you keep saying even an untruth, it becomes true. And we should stop this idea that two women can't be friends. Men fight as much. They also have a sense of being competitive, and there's nothing wrong in being competitive or to want the best for yourself. But that doesn't mean you have to put another human being, a woman, down.
100%. And she was always supportive of that, and made life easier for me on set as my first time. So that's what I'm telling you. This is not something she just says or puts on social media in terms of like a ruse or an appearance thing. This is something that she genuinely believes in, and it reflected in all the conversations that we used to have offset. So definitely.
Huma, you had recently posted on your Instagram story, which was a cryptic post about being stuck in a never-ending world of cheats. And what did you mean? That made a lot of noise, and it made a lot of people curious.
It was the first post we had done for Mithya, because we wanted to raise a conversation about it. So it was Z's idea that I should do this, and the next day I posted about the web of lies being the web of Mithya. So that was the idea behind it.
That was definitely a very good strategy, I must say, because that made people actually wonder what happened to Huma.
Never do this again. Oh my God, my phone has not stopped beeping. It was the worst thing ever. People are sending me poetry. Don't worry, babe, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Some people thought, I've been cheated in work, or have had a bad business decision, or whatever. All sorts of stories were floating around. So I was like, ye kabhi nahi karungi main. This was not such a great idea.
But yeah, as you both, speak about, how women should be and, how they should be treated. In Delhi, a rape case took place, and which was a very vulnerable one. There are strict laws, there are certain laws to be followed, but at the same time, women are treated like very badly. And I really want to know, from both of you, because you both come across as strong women to me.
I think for any country, it's a matter of shame that we don't give our women, our young girls, an environment of safety, especially in a country like India, where we worship, the female form. In the form of Kali, Durga, Ma Saraswati, Lakshmi. I think it's quite shameful that in our country, there's such a huge tradition that we have of worshipping the female form. We are often exposed to incidences which break your heart and, shatter, your mind, where this kind of brutality is unleashed upon women. And I feel very strongly about it. I feel this is something we must not tolerate or allow in society. And we have to take steps, whatever steps they need to be, in our education system, at our homes, in our colleges, in the public sphere, to stop this. Because this cannot be allowed. This cannot be tolerated. And any society, any country should be ashamed anywhere in the world if we can't provide basic safety and security to its womankind.
Exactly.
I also think one of the important things is when you have, people who are public figures, who are people as part of our government or as part of any form of leadership positions, take on stance of any amount of victim blaming. I think that's a very problematic space to get into, and that's a very problematic sphere to get into, especially for women all around, not just for that particular person, but on society and our culture on a whole. Because there should be no allowance for it. There should be no reasoning for it. It's simply something that is a heinous crime. Tomorrow, if someone is robbed or murdered, you're not going to victim blame them in any way, saying what was he wearing or what was she wearing, or she should have locked the door or any of those things. So how can these crimes be in any form a reason of the victim? So that is something that really upsets me whenever I read anyone say anything along those lines of blaming the victim or blaming so I've read ridiculous things like it was because someone was eating something or they used their phones or just absurd things. To me, it's simply the crime. It's rape. There's nobody else to be blamed for that.
And lastly, Huma, before I let you go, your upcoming project, Double XL, have excited a lot of people. I really love the trailer. You're working with Sonakshi Sinha, and it's a very interesting trailer, I must say that. So tell us something about it before I let you go.
Honestly, it's not even a trailer or a teaser. It is just, we finished filming and we wanted to put out some communication that, we've done the film. So we ended up teaser ka bhi teaser. It actually tells you nothing about the film. It just talks about the fact that it's a film about body positivity, and me and Sonakshi are coming together for the first time to talk about it. And I feel it's a film that I'm so happy and proud to be associated, not just as an actor, but also as a producer. And this being the first baby that we're putting out there, I feel so proud because these are the kind of stories I want to talk about. And this is the kind of way in which I want to tell these stories. I feel like when we talk about social change or we talk about all these like serious things, I feel like it has to be told in an entertaining format. It has to reach the family audiences. And I feel like that's where really change comes from. Social change comes from popular culture. So that's the kind of fun films I want to make. And I'm very excited about Double XL. I don't want to talk.
And turning a producer, how excited do you get? Because, it's a baby now.
I can keep talking about it for hours, but I feel like right now, let's not hijack the topic in hand, which is Mithya. I think there'll be time, there'll be space when closer to release, we'll talk about all these things. Of course, it's a project very, very close to my heart. And I can't wait to share it with the world. Like, I'm so excited. I'm literally shaking with excitement.
Thank you so much for your time and all the best.
Thank you, Samina.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.